Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So today we have Mike, and I've been looking forward to this one because he knows a lot about AI, and I think it's really cool. And I use AI a lot. So let's learn some things, all right, guys? So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your background, kind of where you came from?
Sure. And thanks for having me, Nick. I'm excited. Hopefully, I'm going to learn some stuff here too. I'm excited about
Cool,
our conversation.
cool.
My background is I am originally from Chicago. I'm now a father of two and married. I live in California. I started my working life in the world of finance and accounting and somehow moved over into technology. And now I'm at San Diego State's AI Center where I write about AI, I teach, I mentor students, I do research and all that fun stuff.
That's pretty awesome. How was that transition? Oh, how'd that go for you?
Well, Nick, like the transition, I would never have guessed when I started my career 25 years ago that like this is where I'd be at and this is what I'd be doing today. I mean, again, I started my career in like accounting, which is like so far from what I'm doing now. And it's just been like one interesting pivots after the next. And
Yeah,
I've always kind of been surprised with where my career trajectory has taken me. The only thing that I've kind of learned through all that, and, the one piece of advice I always give to people is just follow really good bosses. If you're in a job and you can work somewhere, or even teachers, it's the exact same thing. Great teachers, great bosses, follow them. Take whatever classes they have, take whatever jobs that they offer you. Like you will learn a lot, you will grow a lot in those opportunities, and that's what matters.
yeah, it's so important to have great leaders. Back when I was in a, boss position, I looked at myself as a leader, not about a boss, and my guys would always follow me. They were always there for me. We had fun working together. So yeah, that's very important. Just
It's so important to have that. So, I mean,
yep,
and to be the boss that can, be the boss or the leader. I keep using the phrase boss, but yes, be the leader who can create that environment. Not everyone can do that. Yes.
yep. So now, in what you do nowadays, you've been doing it for a while. Technology changes a ton. How do we keep up?
Um, Look, my job is basically paying me to keep up with the technology, and even I can't do it.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so the first thing I would say is don't worry too much about keeping up on everything because it's
Mm-mm.
overwhelming. You got
It
a
is.
life to live, you have a family, you have your job and all that other stuff. Um, but what I would say is you need to be open to exploring new things and trying new things out. Um, Not everything is going to work. Some things are going to fail, and you just got to in life kind of like give chances to things. If you hear a friend, if you listen to a podcast like this and you hear somebody talking about something that's cool or interesting and you haven't done it yourself, just try it. Just try it. Spend a decent amount of time with it. Don't just try it to then be able to say, well, I tried it and it didn't work. But like,
Yep,
give it a real go.
yep.
And I think that's the best that we can do at keeping up. And this is, AI or whatever new technology or whatever new thing, just like, explore these different things in life.
And when it comes to AI, that's changing a lot recently. I feel like at least, you know, when was I don't if you don't know that's cool, but when did AI first get released like to the public for use?
So, I mean, let's go through this here. So, I mean,
Yeah,
like
that'd be
the
cool.
term artificial intelligence like dates back to like the 1950s. There's a bunch of researchers at Dartmouth, and they're looking for a term for this new emerging field. And I wrote about this recently because I was very curious myself. And an AI was kind of the one that came up on top. The 1950s were a time of science, and there was a time of like a lot of, the Americans were racing against the Soviets at that time. Science was kind of at the forefront. The space race was just beginning. And so this whole futuristic thought of artificial intelligence stayed in the public consciousness. There were some people that thought we would have had, artificial intelligence within 10 years. That obviously didn't happen. And so what has happened over the last 70 years is this concept of AI winters. There's all of this hype about AI, and then it doesn't transpire, and then all of a sudden, like, nobody wants to be in the field. The last one we kind of went through was in the early 2010s. You know, in the aughts, like, was not a good time to be in the world of AI. Like, there's not a very popular place. Like, even things, a lot of the technologies we now use today were thought to kind of be sort of afterthoughts, neural networks, things like that, that language models are based on. They're like, yeah, that's never actually going to work. It did. And there are certain things that led to that. But an apology. This is the teacher in me giving a history
Good.
lesson
Keep
here, Nick.
going. Keep going. I like it. Keep going.
um, you know, the AI as we know it today probably would have started with OpenAI. So OpenAI was a research group that was founded in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. They were looking at a whole bunch. They were looking at robots and all this other stuff. And, supposedly GPT-1 was 2018 or something when they built that. GPT-1, if you've heard of Chat GPT, this was like kind of the first model of this. It was built off of Twilight fan fiction. Like literally, like
Really?
the corpus of information it had was basically Twilight fan fiction and some other stuff like that. So it wasn't very good. I think it was like 8 months later, something GPT-2 came out that was sort of good. It really started GPT-3, which would have been about 2020 or so. So this model existed, but it was a little bit janky. Like it was hard to access. There's a lot of waiting lists and things like that. But honestly, but these things existed. They had DALL-E come out, which is a way to generate images. All this happened. But then fast forward to November 2022, they took the existing GPT the 3 Da Vinci model was it Da Vinci? Yeah, I think it started with a D. I think it was Da Vinci. And they took that model and they put a new wrapper on it, which was what became ChatGPT.
Okay.
And I was using a GPT-3. Other people were using it. Were amazed by it, but that was like the first time it kind of got into the public's hands, and they
Mm-hmm.
made it sort of easy to access. You didn't have to deal with APIs. You didn't have to deal with the playground that they had set up. Any of this kind of stuff. It was a design change that they made. So that would have been November 2022. And really, if you ask most people now, like the wave that we're on now for the last almost 3 years, that's pretty much when it started.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say it was like early 2023 when I started using like Chat GPT and all that. Now I know that we all use AI and just not know it either. A lot of people don't realize what all in this world is AI. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and this is probably even a better way to answer your question from before, Nick. So, like, when you say how have people been using AI? If you're doing things online, you're using AI. You're just using it in a different way. You're not kind of the director of it, so to speak, like you are in a Chat GPT or a Claude instance. It's running in the background. It's filtering the spam out of your email. It is helping you get from point A to point B in Google Maps. All of these things, it's letting your financial transactions go through. I used to work at PayPal. I mean, there was a lot of AI going on behind the scenes to be able to approve of your transactions. So, when people say AI is bad broadly, um, basically most of what's being done on the internet is using or integrating AI some way into it. Some might be more traditional programming, but some could be more artificial intelligence. So it's very broad on what it
Mhm.
is. Typically, if people are talking about AI, it's the generative AI, which is where you actually have a hand in and you put in a prompt into a tool like Google's VO3, and you say, "Hey, make me a video that does this," and it'll make that video for you. Like that's two different types. But yeah, AI, we're using AI day in and day out, even if we don't think we are.
Yep, constantly,
Yeah.
constantly. You
Yep.
know, just like at home, you've got the Alexas and Google and all
That's
that.
right.
So
Great
that's
example.
that's
Great
all
example.
AI, everything. Your
Yes.
TV, how it says, "Hey, next up for you. This is what you should watch."
Yes, yeah,
AI.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah, if you're
yep,
Netflix or YouTube or anything that's a recommendation engine, if you have a Facebook or a Twitter feed that's giving you or an Instagram feed or TikTok, my God, like there's a ton of AI in that of being what's generated and what's being served to you. These are not things you could traditionally code. Just to say, hey, show them the next thing, show them the next thing, like, or whatever it is. Like, no, it's taking all these preferences. It just would be inefficient with traditional coding to do that. That's why these AI models, machine learning type models, have been in place and very much being used for, much longer than ChatGPT has been around.
yep, yeah. And I'm a big supporter of AI because it saves me a ton of time every week with everything I do. And I use it. uh, I don't know how much I use it because it's so ingrained into my daily life that it's basically all day, every day. So I love it. Now, what excites you the most about AI and the direction we're going right now?
I think, Nick, that it's going to really unleash more creativity. I mean, that's what really excites me about it. I mentioned VO3 before, and just to explain what that is for folks. So this was a tool that Google released just a few months ago, and it for the first time allows you to do a text to video, and that video has integrated sound. Now they're only 8-second clips, but it's incredible. So I can say whatever in this 8-second clip and have it generate a video for me. And it was my friend's birthday a few weeks ago. He's very much into Star Wars. And so I went in there and I made a video birthday card for him with a bunch of stormtroopers saying birthday wishes and so forth to him. And I was able to edit this together and send it to him and make this video birthday card. Um, and it was a really cool special thing that we had. And like, so that was I mean, all the video was AI driven. I was telling it what to do. I was, doing a lot of editing, but this is mostly AI doing that. But it was allowing me to express, my love for my friend in a totally different way than I would have otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that really excites me about AI is it just opens up possibilities. Um, not even thinking like, okay, I'm going to make a Hollywood type movie out of this, but just like something to share with your friends, something to express yourself in a different way, and like to allow you to be more of you to other people. Like that. That's what I like about these tools.
Yeah, I like that. It's either go to the store and get your friend a boring birthday card
Yes.
or make them a quick video,
Yeah.
Like that's way cooler.
And honestly, and like he appreciated it a ton and all that. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
God, I've never even thought about doing that before. But like,
yeah,
and this is just one of like literally infinite possibilities that you can do. And that's the cool thing. Like, we're only limited by our own creativity and how we can use these tools. Like, I use AI videos now in my lectures that I have. I will bring them in there, and it's usually a way to kind of lighten things up or whatever. And maybe I could have a character saying something that I want to say, or maybe something I don't want to say, and have this like, there's these really interesting things that you could do. And you don't have to be teaching AI to do this. I mean, you could be teaching second graders to do this, and you could have a fuzzy bear come and teach part of the lesson or something like that, or say something, or call out one of the kids in the class during that. Like there's so it's only limited by your creativity, and that's the thing that excites.
yeah, that is really exciting. And I know that the stuff that we create with AI just it's so cool because it takes like a boring video and makes it not so boring. which is really cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I think a lot of the listeners out there, the main reason they use AI is going to be for the business to get stuff done, make emails, create scripts, business blog posts and all that. What are some just generic tips that you could give to someone using like GPT?
Yeah. Sure, sure. The biggest tip I would give now in 2025 is that the models are very different than even where they were in, 2023. If you started using this a couple of years ago, the concept of meta prompting is something I use a lot. Let me define what that is. So a meta prompt is you're almost asking the AI to give you the prompt that you want. So basically, I mean, and this is how I would structure it. First, you got to tell the AI is like an intern that is working for you that has infinite knowledge, but just started at your job. Like they
Yep.
don't really know what you want. They don't know what your goals are. They don't know they don't know anything like that. They're an intern. They just started. This world is new to them. You have to explain that. Certain tools like ChatGPT have this concept of infinite memory where it actually will know stuff. So when I ask ChatGPT to give me a recipe, I've done that so many times. I have told it like what my family's likes and dislikes are. It will actually tailor around that
Yep.
when it's
It
giving me a
does.
recipe, which is
Hmm.
super helpful. And and
Hmm.
it can apply to so many things when it has this memory. But you almost should assume, especially in the beginning, that an AI just knows nothing. So you just have to tell it like, hey, um, this is my business, or us just use a vacation example because I've done that before. We were actually, as a family, we are going to go on a little European vacation, and we're like, "Hey, we're going to Europe. We're thinking about this. We like this, this, and this. We don't like this." Now, before you give me anything, ask me a few more questions. And that's something I will always do. Don't have it like give you an answer. Just say, "Hey, just hold off a second. Ask me some more questions that you have based upon this." I like for it to number them.
Hmm.
That way I
Me
could just
too.
like literally just like do a bulleted list and just like 1, 2, 3, 4. And like
Yep.
sometimes I'm like, no, yes, so
I
like
do the
it'll
same
just,
thing. Yep.
yeah, not
Yeah.
applicable here or whatever, or then I can expand if it's necessary. Um, yeah, so numbering of those questions really helps. But then once it has enough information, say like, okay, either give me the answer or sometimes I'm asking for a prompt for another model. Like it might be, I do this all the time with videos. Like, hey, ChatGPT, I want to prompt VO3 for something with stormtroopers. What's a really good prompt I could put in there for stormtroopers for this person's birthday or whatever? I don't know if I actually did that, but I may have.
Yep.
So you could actually have models give you prompts to put in other models. But like that's the whole concept of meta prompting. And like that is the one universal tip I feel I can give people where I think people think that AI can read their mind. It can't. You gotta tell it stuff. Again, it's an intern that is working for you, that is ridiculously smart, but knows nothing about you, nothing about your business, nothing about your personal life. You gotta tell it all.
Yeah. And I tell people I think of AI as an employee, not as a tool. With employees, they can do 80% of the work, but you gotta put in that extra 20% effort to make it right for you. That that's helped a lot
Absolutely.
of people. Like this,
Absolutely, Nick.
once they look at it like that, they're like, "Oh," because a lot of people just want AI to do everything. It's it can do a lot, but you should still add your own touch to everything.
Yeah, I mean, here's a test that I think people can use to just kind of see how close is AI. Wherever it is that you live, say, "Hey AI, somebody new is coming to my town. I'm about this age. I like to do this, this, and this. Give an agenda for the things that we should do for the weekend." And it's going to spit out something for you. And just like you said, Nick, it's probably going to be 80% of the way there. Like there might even be a few things and you're like, oh God, I didn't even know that was in town. That actually sounds like fun. Or wait a minute, that closed. Like that's not
Yep,
open or what. Like you
yep.
will see stuff. It will get you 80% of the way there. It's not 100%. And the thing for you to keep in mind is it's kind of like that universally. about stuff. It's going to be close. It's going to be directional. Often it's going to be better than a human being doing the exact same thing, but sometimes it's not going to be. And there's certain ways to do that. Like if I'm not recommending this, but like if I was to ask an AI for a medical diagnosis, I would, first talk to your doctor
I
before you
did
do
that.
that.
I
But
did that a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
It's all
but you
good.
could do second opinions and stuff in
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
And don't take it as gospel. And also put that exact same prompt into a few different AIs and see what the different results are. Or you can even put it into ChatGPT more than once. So the thing for other thing for people to understand, these are probabilistic, which basically means if you put in the exact same prompt twice, you're not necessarily going to get this. Well, you will never get the exact same answer, but the answer could vary a little. If you're consistently getting the same answer, that's probably a good sign that, hey, this is legit. If you're getting different answers, well, that's like you probably need to do a little bit more research, a little more caution with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, I like how you can have it get to know you. And I tell people like if you're using it for business or personal stuff, like just tell your story. And the more of your story you can tell it, the better results you're gonna get.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you don't even know what, like, oh God, what do I even tell it? Say, hey, do you know what? ChatGPT, I'm new to you. I want
Yep.
you to interview me. And you can even do this in voice mode. I mean, that's a
Hmm.
great little hack in ChatGPT. Just put on voice mode on from your phone. That way, it'll talk to you. It's very natural language, and just say, "Can you just interview me? Get all the questions, all the things that you think are pertinent to help me get more value out of you." And that's a great way to start.
Yep. And I guess it gets really cool and fun when you have a big online presence like I do. You can go to somebody else's phone and have them ask their GPT about me, and like everything you get, because it varies from person to person on what it spits out. And it's so interesting just to see like what it pulls out. And I had one friend, and he lives up in Canada, and he asked it about me. He said, "Give me 10, 10 quotes from Nick Yerhart," and like most of them, I was like, I said that. That's pretty good, because I'm sure it pulls from the podcast and everything that I've done online. And I was just like, that's really cool, you know?
But wait, did you see if you did actually see those, or do you know?
Yeah, I don't know if I actually said them. I guess, but it was all like I could. I'm sure I said it.
It's
You know,
it's close enough.
there
Like you could
wasn't.
see yourself
There
saying
was
that.
yeah, there wasn't anything in there that was like, yeah, I know I didn't say that. You know, it was all I think accurate. But yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and one thing to recommend because we've been talking mostly about like there's the three main models that I probably use the most are Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. They're all great models. I wouldn't even worry like, oh, I heard this one is slightly better than this one.
Hmm.
Like honestly, for most people, any of those are going to be just great. If your employer provides you with one, just use it. It's going to go great for you. One that is a little bit of a different technology that I want to flag is something called Notebook LM, which is also made by Google, as is Gemini. Um, Notebook LM is a slightly different technology where you will upload documents to it and it will cite and source those documents for that. So I've been writing my blog for 3 years now. So I uploaded like all 70 plus articles that I've written over the last 3 years about AI stuff into a Notebook LM. And I just ask it questions about it, like, "Hey, have I ever written about this? Did I already say this before?" Because
Yep.
there's sometimes I'm like, I had a thought, but I didn't actually hit publish on it or whatever.
Yep.
And it's a great way to do that. And that is one way where, like, if it is important to be accurate, you can use a tool like that. And I would say, you know, if it's saying it, like, it will actually show you the source as well. So you can actually even click on that and it'll give you the link in there. It is really, really close to like perfect accuracy, I would say, with stuff like that.
I'm gonna start using that. That sounds very useful.
It is. Yeah.
Awesome. So before we start to wrap this up, what are like a few more takeaways that you would like to give the audience?
Look, I think the first thing for everybody is just use these tools. Like, use them to help you in your day to day. Find other friends that are using it and just share with each other how you're using it, like prompts, tips, like, oh my gosh, I did this. Like, could you believe that? Like, these tools have infinite capabilities. But again, because of the infinite capabilities, our natural reaction is just to do nothing because like
Yeah.
there's too many choices for our brains to handle with this.
Yeah.
Um, but the more you do that, the better off you're going to be. Don't worry at all about the horse race, as I talked before about like which model is best. Again, I think of those three that I mentioned, like Gemini, Claude's Anthropic, ChatGPT from OpenAI, they're all great. Like you can use any of those models and you're going to have something really good and just have it help you in your day to day. Start with wherever you're having a problem, start small and stick with it. This is new to all of us. I mean, we're, less than 3 years into this AI journey as a society. So we're all learning here. And if you do this for, I don't know, 20 minutes a day, after a month, you're going to start to become an expert in this field. Like you can't say that about all areas, but this is so new. It's so emerging right now. You'll be like kind of learning at the same pace with the rest of us. Like that's really what I would recommend for people.
And I want to add something that I do frequently, and it's all about your AI learning what you like, about how you like to write and all that, which it does learn. I just got a new AI program, so I'm trying to train that one. But one of the things, like, it'll spit something out that I want to use for like a post or something, and then I'll say, make this sound less AI. And it's funny that it will. It'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You take out the long dash lines. What are those called? The long
Dash.
dash. Yeah, there you
I
go.
hate M dashes. I never
Yeah,
used M dashes before, and like, yeah, but yes,
nobody ever
I'm not an
has.
M
So
dash guy.
it's like take those out, and yeah, you
Well,
gotta take those
and
out.
it's funny too, Nick. So, one of the features that Claude has, so made by Anthropic, you can actually, and it does a decent job. You can actually give it a sample of your own writing, and then it will mimic that writing when it returns results to you, kind of when you choose that. They have a few
Hmm.
different styles, like one is more formal, informal, and then I have one that I use with them. I call it text storyteller, which is like, this I gave it a bunch of my blog posts and things like that and said like, hey, this is how I like to write. So even when I just use it as an editor, and I use it all the time as an editor, it kind of knows my style. It knows like, okay, like we'll leave the humor in there. We won't use any M dashes because we could tell Mike doesn't like them or whatever it might be. So
Yeah,
it kind of knows that style as well.
yeah, yeah. And it's really fun when you get to start to learn things about you, what you like, because then you use it, and you don't have to do the extra BS to get what you want. It just
Yes.
starts to come naturally from it. It's
And
really
that's where,
cool.
and that's what we should all be kind of striving and hoping for. It should be
Yeah,
natural, and it's going to get there. I mean,
yeah.
these things are emerging; they're getting better. It'll take a little time. It'll get there, but until then, you gotta work with it a bit more.
If you do, yeah, just work with it. It's a lot of fun. Download GPT if you don't have it, and just start typing, and you can have a lot of fun with it. You can ask it for jokes and everything. So
Absolutely.
get out there
Yes.
and do it.
Yes. Get out there and
Hey,
do it. Yeah.
so my slogan is your abilities are infinite. But what does that mean to you?
You know, like the one thing in my life I think I've always appreciated, always tried to teach, always tried to just kind of bring out of others is creativity. If I could just kind of tell a quick story, back when I was at PayPal, I remember having a team that I inherited. So I was managing a group of people. And one of the things I just would always ask people, like, do you find yourself to be a creative person? Yes or no? And I remember on this team, like half of the people said yes, half of the people said no. And to me, like, it drove me crazy that they didn't think of themselves as creative. And so one of the things I wanted to do, like with this team and with many others that I've worked with over my career, was get them to realize and recognize that they are creative people. They have these infinite abilities of creativity. Like there is no limit to what our mind can think of, what we can imagine, and so forth for that. How I actually did that, was a whole nother story. But briefly, I would literally start our staff meetings with having people talk about something creative they did over the past week. Could have been at home, could have been at work. I didn't care. And this was just a way for them to share, to learn, and just see like, oh, it's. And I'm not talking about rocket ships. I'm just talking about these little things. Like this is what we do as a human species. We have gotten and evolved to where we are as a species in this world that we've created today because of our creativity. So, like, to me, that's it. Like, our infinite ability is creativity. That's something that AI is going to enhance and will never take away.
Yep, I agree with that. I think that's really awesome. Well, I want to ask, down the road, would you be willing to be a guest on the show again?
Oh my God, yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
I
Anytime, Nick.
think it would be cool as AI progresses over the next even 6 months. I think we're going to see a big change. And I think it'll be cool to bring you back and have a chat again.
Nick, anytime you want to have me, I would love to. I could have spent hours with you here
Yeah,
today talking about stuff. So anytime you want me back, I'm love to be back.
I think it'd be awesome. I use AI a lot. I appreciate your knowledge, all the work that you put in, helping people understand and helping people be creative and use AI to help them with that. I think that's really, really awesome.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to do it, and
Well,
hopefully, folks will find this helpful.
yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you.
Well, Mike, thank you again.
Thanks for having me, Nick. It was really fun.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me here, the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.